Evening. I'd like to welcome everybody to the July 8th Fire Commissioners Meeting, District 5 for Gig Harbor Fire Medic 1. If you'd please rise with me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of agenda.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urbina, Commissioner Wilsey,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Chairman Enzi.
Yes. Commissioner absences.
I'm not going to be absent, but I may have to be on Zoom the next meeting.
Okay.
I'll try my best to make it here. If not, I might be a little late.
Okay. Communications? Anything? No communication case. Approval of the minutes from the June 24th meeting.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urbina,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilsey,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Chairman Enzi.
Yes. Accounts payable and payroll approvals.
I'll move that we approve accounts payable checks 1882 through 1935 and payroll checks 1871 through 1881 and 1936, along with ACH payroll transfers as outlined in the agenda for a grand total of $2,162,775.00.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urbina,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilsey,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Chairman Enzi.
Yes. I heard from Jake and there was no report from 3390. Chief reports.
Chief Booth. Good evening. I wanted to keep the board updated on the ongoing process to get an AA in health and safety. We finished our interviews of 8 candidates on Monday. If you remember, we had upwards of 150 in total. We chose to meet with 8. We have 2 that we're really excited about. We're going to move forward into reference checks and some skills testing, and we have 1 on deck. So with any luck, we'll be able to make a conditional offer by the end of the month. That's it.
Chief Langlow. All right, a couple brief updates. Lateral hiring update. I think we mentioned it briefly at our last commissioners meeting. Chief Doan and I completed chief's interviews a couple weeks ago, right before the last board meeting. And we did 2 rounds of panel interviews, and then we did our pre-screening application process as well. And as of right now, we've offered 3 conditional job offers to lateral candidates. All have accepted, and they're in the pre-screening process, psychological evaluation, medical screenings. They're in that process right now. But we do expect that we may have some more jobs that we might be offering here shortly once we identify how many people are going to retire in 2026. But we're still working through that process, and we'll keep the board updated on how we want to navigate through that. But we do have a provisional list, or a list that's out, eligibility list either way, and we'll pull from that list if we have any more jobs that we want to offer. I think Chief would attest and agree with me that we had some really high quality candidates that we're really excited about, hoping to bring on the 3 plus some more that are just really quality people that be great additions to the organization. And more will come out as when that process, as it evolves, with specific to the candidates as they get through the pre-screening process. But I would like to just communicate that they're from all across the country, from organizations that are smaller than us, that are bigger than us. Kind of a really good cross section of folks. And we interviewed people from obviously Washington and Oregon, but California, Massachusetts, Florida, Colorado, Nevada, Arizona, Texas, Utah, and I'm sure I'm missing some, Alaska. So all over the country, which is awesome. Second update on our entry levels. They are in the final stages of the Academy with Tacoma Fire. Their last day at TFD will be the 25th of July. I got a report from DC Corrigan last week that they're all doing great and progressing well. After July 25th, they'll come back to Gig Harbor and they'll do a 2-week in-district operations academy, which will end on August 8th. And we're going to be hosting, the training division is going to be hosting an academy ceremony at Station 50 on August 8th from 3:30 to 5. Everybody's encouraged to attend. And then I talked to Leslie this afternoon. Make sure we get that invitation in your inbox if you're available. Love to have you. Understand that we get busy in the summer, so you might not be around. But we'll be doing that on August 8th. And then they will, after that 2-week onboarding, we'll get them into the rotation and get them out to their shifts. And those shift assignments will come out during Ops Academy. They'll be given them, and then we'll get them out to the organization. And then just lastly, wanted to update on the 4th of July. So we did, from the time period of 0800 on the 4th to 0800 on the 5th, we had 37 calls for service. So about a little more than a third busier than a normal day for us. That doesn't include 2 residential structure fires that we responded to mutual aid at Key Peninsula. Or one early morning on the 3rd, and then right before shift change, or excuse me, early morning on the 4th, about 2:30 in the morning. And then we had another one right before shift change that morning, about 7:30. Unfortunately, one of the house fires that we responded to did result in a fatality. I saw an article in the Gig Harbor Now, I think today, that was speaking to it. But crews did well, and they're doing well. After the fire, particularly long night for most of the crews were the same crews for both that responded mutual aid, just in the timing of how it happened. And then we also did do some mutual aid work with South Kitsap during the 4th of July. Outside of or inside our own borders, although it was busy, pretty benign, and 4th of July, no significant events that we had within the district. And we did have 25 people on duty, so we were able to put a 6th engine company in service for the peak time of noon to midnight, and then at Station 53. So we were well staffed out there, and they ran, I think, at least 2 calls on the island. So good use of that resource out there. That's all I had.
Chief Oldenburg. I knew that. I have during bond update, I have that update, but also to let you know, I'm going to be leaving in the morning for Coeur d'Alene to attend firefighter John Morrison, his funeral on Thursday, and Frank Harwood's on Friday. So I'll be leaving tomorrow and coming back Friday. That's all I have for updates.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Standing committee reports. I believe there is any. Chairman's report. I do not have anything. 2022 bond update.
All right. Chief Johnson is in Whistler, although he's working a lot because I talked to him multiple times today and emailed him multiple times. So he's having a working vacation. Station 53 and 57, we're still just finaling all the final payments with the contractor and closing out the project. So it's very, very close, both of those. The training campus, both the support and the tower, are progressing well. I walked around there today and continue to walk around and see lots of changes, and it's exciting. Last few weeks, IT and training and others have been walking through to secure the space and make sure everything is the way that we need it. Station 50, continue to work on a punch list, but we're getting pretty close to having this place completely done. Station 51, I sent you an email, forwarded the board an email about parking spots and some of our frustrations we are having with the city. I'm doing my best to continue having great relationships with the city and the mayor, and I've been contacting her a lot to try to help me and help us. I did get notice from the city today that they think they may be able to reduce it to 42 spots, parking spots, which will knock down some of the EV spots that we'll have to have but let's see, it's 10%. So you have to round up. So it's 50. So it's 15 rather than 18, but we're still going to have to put 15 EV spots in a small parking lot. but we are working through it with them. Like I said, the mayor has been a help. I'd say just some of my frustration is that I don't understand. I work for a city, and a city has rules and ordinances, and you need to follow them, but they also have the authority as jurisdiction to change it. And I
To do
just keep
variances.
getting told they can't. And I don't understand that. But I want to continue to have great relationships, and we're working through that. But we were supposed to go out to bid in January, then we were promised June, and it's July. And we're still not there. So balancing I'm responsible to you and the taxpayers, 55,000 taxpayers, and but also trying to keep my relationship with the city and work through it. But also we're frustrated.
Hey, Chief,
So
I've got a
about-
question on that.
Yeah.
So we're responsible to install the stall with the EV equipment and maintain it, I'm assuming. What's the original cost per stall? And then what would be the maintenance cost? Do you have a rough number?
I don't, but I'll get the amount of cost per stall. Well, one of the other complexities with this that we're trying to figure out is once we put the EV station, so you have to have 10% that's fully in, you have to have 10% that is wired ready, and you have to have 10% that are plumbed. So that's where the 15 stalls come. The 5 that are not only wired and in and have to be used, our difficulty is we are not allowed to give public funds. So how do we even use those? And then not only how do we use them if the public hooks to it? Do we outsource that? Does another company do it? What do we do with employees and how do they use it? So there's a lot of complexities to this that we don't have all the answers. Other departments have done it. And so we're reaching out to them and getting a lot of facts from them and we do have a plan forward, or we're working on one. But to answer your question specifically, I'll find out how much per stall. The problem isn't just, and I'm supportive of EV and putting them in there, and we should be building as government, putting EV infrastructure, and I'm supportive of that. It's just the amount. And then not only that, it's not just the EV, but then it's the electrical panels. We have to add more electrical panels, and we have to get bigger generators, and it just keeps going on and on. The costs and the delays just continue to mount. Now, it's not the city's fault that we have to put EV in there. It's not their fault, but it is their fault that we have to put 42 or 53 parking spots in there that they're unwilling to move, and that is getting frustrating. So I will get you the answer for cost per stall.
Thank you,
That was
Chief.
a long answer to a short question.
Okay.
Has there been any conversations with partnerships?
As far as,
I mean, just to throw it out there, Tesla needs probably a charging station in the harbor, and have them, I think they would probably be more than willing to, if they got the space. The problem with them is they can't get the land, but if you give them the space and we lease the spaces to them, don't sell it to them, and then you make dollars out of that. And then they control all the charging and all that stuff, and you don't have to worry about it. So.
okay, we'll look into that.
Think
I don't
about
know
that.
if they have or not, but I'll find out. So I was hopeful that we could go out to bid this month. We'll see.
There's also a rumor that Redmond is no longer getting an electric fire engine, so there is one available if everybody's interested in it.
I know it's more than a rumor.
That's all I do.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. It does not appear that we have any old business. New business. Commissioner Wilsey's resignation.
That's a hell of a thing.
Sir, okay, so Commissioner Wilsey, as we've all seen, the letter effective, I guess actually the last meeting of this month will be his last one, but just effective August 1st. So we need to try to fill some big shoes.
Yeah,
Chief?
Commissioner, thank you.
Leslie?
I've asked Leslie to help us through this, and so we wanted to at least do a rough draft of the process that we put together. She's contacted Eric Quinn, and so we will just want your feedback. So today is just I've asked her to put it together, and then you can give us feedback if we're on the right track, and give us some more direction. So Leslie,
And
I
then-
just forwarded all of, except Alex, all of the board members, Chief Doan and Leslie, the documents from our last round, when we actually appointed Alex, when he applied for a vacant position, just to give you a template of, this is how we did it last time. I'm not necessarily wedded to any particular thing, but at least you don't have to reinvent the wheel if you
Right.
have that.
So on Thursday, Janelle and I are going to meet to go over the packet that includes, just a memo, the district map, the Washington Fire Commissioners handbook, and then also thought about putting in our own board policies in there. The application and background process needs to get updated because it's 8 years old, so it needs to change. So I'm going to meet with Janelle to go over that and anything that she feels is going to be needed to be added into the packet. But we have 90 days to fill the vacancy from the date of August 1st. So that's October 30th. I talked to Eric and he said that we don't need to by law do interviews, but depending on how many candidates there are, there's a process in place for 30 minutes is the max for each interview. Kind of breaks down the different steps for that, which I don't need to get into necessarily right now, but we would need to post the notice of vacancy and then any nominations from the board in 3 public places, one including our department website, and that needs to stay up for a minimum of 15 days. So we'll post it in Gig Harbor Now, our website, and then either at City Hall or Public Library, anything where there's going to be kind of a memo board. So we have some time to work through that, and the questions, I'll look for the email to go through and send that out to everybody, see if there's anything that needs to be changed there or added.
so you want to go through the outline that you have of the dates and how you've put it together so far and make sure they're good with it? And does that sound good about the commissioner handbook, the 1000s? I call them the 1000s, but it's the board policies, which we're actually going to meet on after this. And in the packet, is there anything else you'd like added to it, or are we on the right track?
I think
Sounds good to me.
sounds good. Yeah. I think they should have a little bit of understanding. See, I would assume the commissioner's handbook probably has the pertinent RCWs attached to it in regards to commissioner's duties and stuff.
Yeah, the commissioner handbook is pretty, it's a good handbook, but
Okay.
it goes through everybody's duties and
Okay.
the RCWs. And so it's something.
Okay.
That's good
Yeah,
to
that
review.
sounds, all the information, that sounds good.
And then the board policies.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think that it's going to take very much time when I do meet with Janelle to get that packet together because we already have the foundation of what it was before. So obviously today is declaring the vacancy. And if we were to post the vacancy notice on July 28th, we would be able to review the applicants by August 12th at that next meeting. And then the following meeting, which would be August 26th, is when we could conduct interviews if that's the direction that you choose to take. And then September 9th would be the swearing in. If we can get that in that next timeline, that way we're not getting pushed out too far, but it's a quick-ish turnaround, but I think that it's doable. I don't think that Janelle's going to have anything too much more than just updating what we already have.
So maybe with the information that Bryce just forwarded to you, it might help you and Janelle out to maybe just seeing what we did last time. Give you an idea how that goes. There's a timeline there and different things that they had too. So it might help you guys out. But I think we should probably be able to work it through there.
I would think. I mean,
The only thing I would add is on July 28th, there's no vacancy. So at least put in there that the vacancy is actually August 1st.
Right, that's a good point.
And if you need me to change it to July 28th for timelines, I can do that too. But
That was just kind of the 15-day,
yeah,
by posting it, then we would then be at needing to leave it open for 15 days for applicants in order to be able to review the applicants on August 12th. So it doesn't need to fall on that. We can push that out another to the next board meeting, which would be the 26th of August is when they could review. And then the September 9th would be interviews, which still falls well within the October 30th deadline. So
I don't foresee, I think the most, you and I have been involved with all three appointments. And I think the most ever was what, 3?
I thought the one with Bryce, we had a few more than that.
Did you narrow it down and then
Oh,
had?
I
3
mean,
come-
who do we narrow it down to?
I
From the
don't
original?
recall any more than 3, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
I can do a little, I've got all the emails with all the candidates from when Alex was appointed. So I mean, I can tell you once I have a chance to look at probably next meeting. And I think it was like 3 people. I think Joe may have been one of the ones that applied
There
for
were-
that vacancy as well.
There were 4 of us that interviewed with you guys when Alex was appointed.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, it's not.
Something like that. It's
Four,
not,
I feel like 4 is manageable. I don't remember it being particularly
we don't have to,
impossible during that process.
we don't have to
Mm.
go through and figure out, okay, are we going to interview 3 or 4 people? We just interview them all and
Yeah.
Right.
everybody goes home happy.
Right.
So I wasn't able to chime in during commissioner absences, but I will be out of town on the 12th or whatever that first meeting is in August. And so if the timeline gets bumped back a little bit, I would be available to help during that selection process a little bit more. Because I'll be gone the 7th through like the 18th.
Great. The only other thing that may make it complex, but nothing that we can't get through, is we do have an election, and my guess is some of them may apply, and then that could be confusing. Not a hurdle that we can't get over, but you may appoint one, and then they get elected, and then it's the other seat, or vice versa. Again, it's not something we can't get through, but it may make it a little complex.
and the primary election is August 3rd.
Yeah, I would think with 3 of them running, 1 or 2 or 3 may even have put for the appointment, right? And that's fine, but it may make it complex. How about that?
Yeah.
We can handle it. So we'll work on that some more with
Okay.
that guidance, and we'll give you a draft packet, an update here, probably via email.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
In the packet, I was sitting here thinking about it. You might mention, unless the law's been changed, that they'll have to run for election in 27.
Yeah, they finish out whatever
Yes.
your term is. So,
Right.
yeah.
got to run the next election.
No, they have to run the next.
Yeah, it depends on when the
Mm.
appointment happens relative to the end of their term. I know that, I think Alex had to run,
I just got elected again a year ago.
but didn't you have to run for the balance of the unexpired term
Yep.
when?
I had to
Yeah,
Run the next election.
I had
yeah.
that
So
wrong.
that also is going to impact budget for next year potentially, because we're going to have to factor in the costs of an election for the unexpired term, which I think would
Right.
be next year.
Yeah, it's 26, not 27. It'll immediately be, we'll have to run again.
Fire commissioners don't run in even elections, even years. Is that what he's saying?
No, I think though, Tom, for an unexpired term, it may be on the, I don't know what year it is, but there'll be an extra election for the unexpired term.
Might be a change.
But it's still an odd year.
Yeah.
Maybe I misunderstood Joe.
No, it'll be 26.
Did they change the law?
So my understanding, Tom, and I could be completely wrong, is you get appointed and then you have to run in the next election for the remainder of the term.
By law, unless it's been changed, fire commissioners run only on odd years, which would be 27. But it's a non-issue.
Okay.
Lots of
Yeah,
time for somebody
yes.
to figure it out.
Yeah, Leslie just pulled up the law, so we'll work on it. We'll have an answer.
We got next, that's 26, right?
27.
Oh, that's
I am not claiming to be an authority on it. I just remember what happened with Alex.
We'll double check with Eric. Yep. That's all I got.
And the only reason I bring it up, it's a nominal amount of money, but it's still, if it's next year, it's a budget impact. And as we're starting probably to think about budget for next year, it's not some insane cost, but it's still a cost. So.
Do you need to officially accept his resignation tonight? Or is it just the letter good enough?
I think the letter just had, I don't think we accept or reject it. I think it just is.
Okay, just
Yeah.
is.
I don't get to reject it.
We can stand up.
You're gonna
I mean,
reject.
We can stand up and
I mean-
just in front of him and say not accepted.
I mean, I don't like it, but I can't reject it.
Yeah, you're not living here. It might hurt. Might be difficult.
All right.
All right, we
Okay.
will work on that. Thanks.
You are going to be at the next meeting, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll see where allocates for then. Okay. Open public comment. Please state your name for the record. You'll have 3 minutes. Anybody raising their hand out there?
Do we ever get anybody online?
Yeah, there's 6 participants. I don't know.
Janelle and someone from Union.
Okay. All right. Good of the order. Anybody have anything on the good of
We
the
are
order?
going to have a subcommittee meeting of the policy group right after this, just to go over some policy changes.
Okay.
And then that'll come to the full board.
All right. Any special interest or upcoming events? Oh, I don't think there's anything. Summertime, there's nothing coming up there. All right. Well, our next regular meeting will be Tuesday, July 22nd. No other business coming before this commission. We are done.